Assalamualaikum. My name is Marsha Auni binti Mir Shamsul Anwar and my matric number is AP110105. I will present about introduction for this report. Wherever we go, there will definitely be laws or rules that we must obey. The laws we want to grasp include road laws, state laws, construction laws, and so on. However, this report is about the current construction law in the country. These construction laws are created for the purpose of solving legal problems that arise in the construction of buildings or other structures. These problems can represent a federal, state, and city, in addition to county law. As an example, workplace safety regulations and hiring practices are in compliance with federal construction law. At the beginning of the project, construction law will occur during the bidding, consultation, and formation of agreements and contracts. Construction law covers a wide range of legal issues such as contracts, negligence, bonds and bonding, and so on. The topic to be discussed in this study relates to the variation order, which is one of the terms of the contract. A variation, sometimes called a variation instruction, variation order, or change order, can be a change in the scope of work during a construction contract, either in the form of additions, replacements, or omissions to the original scope of work. The variation order is extremely difficult to avoid, especially on large medium-scale projects and those that involve different scopes of work. The variation order should be controlled because it affects the work schedule in terms of cost and time. That's all from me. I will pass to the other presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Akmal Shahin bin Shahrun and my matrix card number is AP190113. Today I am going to present our group assignment related to the topic of variation order. Here I will explain a little about the definition of variation order, types of variation order and issue of variation order. So, firstly is definition of variation order. Variation order is a change in the scope of work in a coaching contract in the form of addition, mission or replacement of the original scope of work. So, next is variation order is issued by the company to the contractor as an instruction to change the scope of contract work. Variation can also vary whether an increase or decrease in volume, type, quality, execution of work schedule. So, next we go to the types of variation order. Type of variation order, we have 5 types. So, first is change in the manner and method or material to be installed. So, this often happen in construction where the contract say the material used and the method of installation to be done. However, due to the variation order, this change occur. This can affect the cost and time of a construction and affect the customer. So, next is different or unexpected site condition that were not imagined in the original contract price. So, this is where it happen when a customer makes an appointment with a contractor based on a company website which specifies the price and fees to be set on the website. But it happen when the contract that has been agreed between the contractor and the customer is not lined with that on the website. This causes customer to spend more. So next is modification that change the sequences of planned work as original imagined. This change often occur when an unexpected thing or problem occur where the contractor has changed the previous planned sequence of work to a new sequences to avoid delay in the construction project. So, number 4 is change in the scope of work due to construction problem or conflict between work elements. For change in the scope of work usually occurs when there is a shortage of workers by the contractor which cause the workers of the original scope of work had to be postponed to replace another scope of work. So lastly is design and specification change. Change to plan and specification occur when a customer want to change the specification of a project where it will involve change to plan that have been set by the contractor previously. prevalence. So the lastly is issue of variation order. So we have two issue. First is direct variation. A direct variation is issued once the owner specifically direct the contractor to create a modification. So second is constructive variation. On the opposite hand, occur as a result of non-owner directed event that implicitly necessitated a variation. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum Doctor. My name is Muhammad Akmal bin Majuleka. My metric number is AP190467. Okay, in this video I want to present about my part in this group project, which is literature review. Okay. First I will talk about the definition of this variation order from the literature review. Okay. Garrett Butt 2015 said that variation order is issued whenever there is variation to the contract works. Most of the project variation order are the extension of time. Okay, number 2 is Norazia Muhammad 2019. She said that variation order refer to any change in the scope of work. Any variation such as variation instruction is the modified contract document. Okay, next we will move to the types of variation order in construction. Okay, this type can be seen through the scope of work. Sometimes there are five types that I stated in this slide, which is first, change in means and method or materials. Number 2 is change in plan and specification. Number 3, correction made due to error or omission. Number 4, owner financial problems. Number 5, conflicts among contract documents. Okay, that's all from me. Now we move to the next person. Thank you.
Hi. In this section, I'll describe the clauses that belong to our group. This section set out the contractors, quantity surveyors and architects' obligation with respect to variation orders in PAM of Contract 2006. First, I'll describe the obligation of contractor and QS, the quantity surveyor. The architect or client may choose to modify certain components in the middle of construction or add an additional element to the structure. Whenever a change happens, based on clause 11.2, the contractor needs to carry out the works regularly and diligently of the works according to the instructed architect. The whole architect is included in the contract as the contractor is required to work in line with the architect. Next, based on clause 11.5 in the QS on site for recording and measuring, the contractor must provide the assistance needed to support the QS in conducting the activities. The contractor can also take notes and measurements on the site if he so needs and wants. In that scenario, the contractor should make a pledge to ensure the works run smoothly and swiftly when QS measures are implemented on site. If the architect receives variation order based on clause 11.7, the contractor may make a claim for the additional extra expenses provided that from clause 11.7a, the contractor give a written notice to the architect of the contractor intention to make the claim of VO's expenses. The contractor need to provide the necessary particulars of calculation of the works of the variation for the estimated amount of expenses needed. Next, obligation of architect based on clause 11.4, when issuing an variation, the architect must organize the prime cost sums and the contract bill with the quantity surveyor in accordance with the amount owed by the variation. As a result of this modification, the client must pay more as the construction change as the contract prices increase. To reduce extra costs, variation must be avoided and deliberately addressed throughout the design process. After giving the AI to the contractor, the architect is also advised to go for site inspection to inspect the site for the variation works, whether it is done according to the drawing and the variation is suitable and satisfied by the client. If the client is satisfied, the works may proceed by the contractor. If not, the architect may issue another AI to change again, but keep in mind that is a limit for variation in the works. In conclusion, the architect must fulfill his obligation in variation order to prevent violation of contract and end up in issues and conflicts. When the architect has done his duty wisely, there will be no or less offence by the contractor to deal with or late recognition to the contractor or any situations. So that's all for me. Next I will pass to my members for the next session. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I will present the case study 1, which is the maintenance of drainage system at beach camp phase 2. This variation order is under UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency organizations. It happens in March 2010. The original construction contract was named Maintenance of Drainage System at Beach Camp Phase 2. Its amount is $50,336. After the variation order was issued and it aims to repair badly damaged asphalt roads. This happened because heavy rains have caused landslides to occur under the asphalt road. This amount of the variation order is $1,500 and the percent of variation order to the original amount is 2.98%. The case study 2, which is removal of debris from residential buildings in Gaza Strip. The concession is under the same concession, which is UNRWA organizations. The concession is September 2009, and the original concession contract name is removal of debris from residential buildings in Gaza Strip. The amount is $327,101. After the variation order, the purpose of its variation is to remove debris from additional residential buildings damaged by bombardment of December 2008 until January 2009. The amount of the variation order is $148,330. The percent of the variation order happened from the original amount is 45.27%. Case study 3, which is construction of emergency program office building at Gaza office. The third case is also being handled by the UNRWA construction project. It is handled and documented. The variation order happened 9 times, which is 3 May 2007, which amount $3,136. After that, we have variation 2 was opened, which is 21 June 2009, and then variation order 3 recorded in 15 July 2007, which is amount $3,068.70. And then version 6, version 4, version 5, version order 6, version 7, version order 8, and version order 9 recorded in 5 November 2009, which is remaining works in the non-complete variation order. All from me. Case study. Thank you.
I'm Nurul Shafiqa binti Muhammad Asuri, matric card number AP190099. I would like to present about conclusion. In general, variation orders may involve change in scope, time, and material. They may be issued for addition or omission of work, change in plans, design, schedule, or scope. Due to dynamic and complex structure of the construction industry, it is almost impossible to complete a project without issuing a variation order. If the variation orders are not prepared carefully and in detail, then they might cause many issues between the involved parties. In the end, may cause increase in the project cost and delays in the project completion time. Moreover, at the time of COVID-19, it greatly affected the construction of buildings as a result of the virus. This is recommendation. First, the client should allow sufficient time to prepare an elaborately detailed project brief. Variation can be minimized if consultants produce a complete design, as chance of design causes variation on public building projects. Second, contractors should identify and inform the various item of work to the client before the activity starts to reduce variation. The client will have sufficient time to check the varied item in different perspectives to give work order at minimum variation. Lastly, consultants should give sufficient time for planning and design phase. A detailed design would be able to exert control to unnecessary interference from consultants or other external influences. That's all from me. Thank you.